Also, I'm just like, Homegirl really like inserted herself into the Hunger Games for a man. A night court when she needs to be in a spring court because she needs some spring water because she's very, very thirsty. Through the book, and all I can think about is, where's Lucien? I really want to read about Lucien again. Feyre says that I knew he and Tamlin were different, knew that Razlin's protective anger tonight had been justified, that I would have had a similar reaction. So what are we here for? So what are we here for then? High Lord's whore again. I don't even want to read the rest of this page. Next. So as I was wrapping up my commentary, I remembered that I did not record an intro. So you guys should know that my commentary starts at the middle of the first book and goes all the way up until like chapter 48 of the second book. I planned on reading the entire second book, but it became too frustrating and I had to stop. So next you will see my commentary and you can see when the joy leaves my eyes. Enjoy. Also, I'm just like, Homegirl really like inserted herself into the Hunger Games for a man. I have so many thoughts about this book, but I ended up getting lost in the sauce and I ended up reading like 319 pages. So I will probably give more of a reaction to the next book in the series. Side note, like the description of the worm that she's running from in chapter 36, it's very much so giving Alaskan bullworm from SpongeBob. I really like this book. If you couldn't tell, I do. I have not read a fantasy book since Twilight. I know, but I'm talking about when like I was actually just like hooked, when it's just like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? I haven't had that feeling since Breaking Dawn. Don't come for me in the comments because I'm trying to be a book girly again, but because I've been in school for so long, I kind of lost the passion that I had for reading, and I only read like academic journals and stuff and social justice books, think pieces that made me absolutely enraged. So I'm trying to actually like distance myself from reality at this point and be in my own little world and be Delulu, because that's the Delulu. I'm done with the book yet, but I was reading some spoilers, not like major plot spoilers, but like character spoilers. And a lot of people were just like, you're not gonna like Tamlin. And I'm just like, why? But so far, I still like, I don't really see anything wrong with them thus far, but this is the first book still and I'm not done, so things can change. Also, my favorite character is definitely Lucien. He's my favorite character. I already knew I was going to like him the moment he was introduced. But here is a little spoiler that I Googled. So, like, I was reading the one chapter where Frey, she goes back to her family and her sister Elaine is like in a garden and she's just so energetic. And I was just thinking, I'm just like, you know, Elaine would really look good with Lucien. That was the thought that came to my mind. And then I started Googling. I'm a genius. Dude, I do like, I am like so bad with the name pronunciation, but Razin, he's giving Damon Salvatore. I like him. Okay, did he just pimp out this girl? I spoke too soon about liking him. I take back what I said about him becoming one of my favorite characters, because what? I took it as he was like a good person with the amount of like edits of him that I saw online, but like, are y'all okay? This man Raz, like they're friends. He a lot to process. Like, this escalated very quickly. I am about to be on chapter 41. There's only 45 chapters, and I'm so mad at myself because I did not buy the second book yet. I just bought it today because it was payday. So hopefully my Prime is really Prime, because I'm paying for Prime and it should get here tomorrow. On Amazon Prime, $15.99. I'm going to start reading this Tonight, day one, your girl is starting on A Court of Mist and Fury. And a lot of people keep saying like, oh, you'll understand Ryzen better once you read this book. And I'm just like, he did a lot of just like things that you can't really redeem him. So I don't know. It's very much so like I was a Vampire Diaries girly. I still am every fall. But it's very much so giving like Damon, but like worse with the excuses for this character. Ignore me looking like a raccoon right now. I just got out of bed and I'm about to go for a run. But I was distraught all last night. I'm in chapter 6 of the second book, but I decided to be stupid and do a quick little Google search to see who Freya, whatever her name is, will end up with. And I'm distraught. I'm distraught at how things progressed, and it's giving Damon and Elena all over again, and I can't deal with that. I am a Vampire Diaries girly, and this is triggering me. I don't know, I never expected me to get so attached to a book character before in my life, and just a character assassination of Tamlin is just like, I have to really prepare myself mentally, because their love was just so like pure, and it developed so naturally. And the fact that Ryzen has the ability to like mind control, aka compulsion, aka Damon Salvatore, it's just driving me insane. I mean, I don't freaking know. Maybe I will end up liking him, maybe I will end up disliking Tamlin, but if they're both toxic, I just feel like maybe she should just be alone. And that's how I felt about Elena in the Vampire Diaries. I felt like she should have either been with Stefan or just ended up alone and developed her own self. It's like really sad that his character is gonna be assassinated, and not just that, but he's going to be like publicly embarrassed and like humiliated. I'm not ready for that. And just reading like some of the comments is just like, he is definitely experiencing clinical depression, and I have definitely been through depression myself. So I don't even know if I want to finish the series, because I feel like I'm going to empathize too much with him. This man really locked her in a house knowing that she is terrified of being caged in. Tamlin, what are you doing? So I'm about to be on 16. Sheesh. I literally just started reading this. Like, I need a life. I cannot believe I'm already on 16. And you know what? I still don't like Raslin. I don't know. This is very Vampire Diaries-esque, and it's triggering me a lot. So from the Night Court, I like more. I like her. I really do. I hope to see or read more about her. I feel like what really helped me like get through all of these chapters, like I have like, oh my gosh, what is that? Okay, so I have like ambiance playing YouTube. I have like a whole like A Court of Thorn and Roses like playlist that I found, and like it's been like, it's helping me read, and it's helping me like to like visualize like being here. Ooh, this is so Vampire Diaries coded. It's stressing me out. Okay, so as I'm about to start the next chapter, I will say my opinion on Tamlin did shift. Being the introverted girly I am, I wouldn't mind, but you know, he needs therapy. He needs therapy. Two broken people in a relationship, that's just not gonna work. I mean, it's not gonna work. He needs therapy, she needs therapy, and neither one of them feels comfortable like expressing themselves to each other. Weird. But in that same breath, like, just because you leave one toxic man doesn't mean you should go to another toxic man. So the Raslin girlies, they're gonna be like, oh well, he resorted to acting like a pig under the mountain to save her and protect her. Like, he couldn't come up with any other method. Like I keep saying I'm a Vampire Diaries girly, and it's just like he's reminding me so much of Damon. And this is literally stressing me out. Like I'm supposed to be enjoying my reading, and it's supposed to be leisure time. Like I get literally stressed out from reading this. And it's not like it's a bad type of stressed out. It's like I feel like I'm watching a K-drama and I'm at the edge of my seat, and it's a Sunday night and I have to wait another week before the next episode come on. Like that's how stressed out I am. Like Frey did, like, I don't know that girl's name. I'm calling her Frey. Her describing Roslin's friends at the dinner, it's like I feel like I'm reading furry fanfic. This whole like introduction between Roslin, Frey, and his friends, like reminding me of the scene where Edward took Bella to go meet his family. Hang on tight, spider monkey, literally down to the flying. I'm screaming. Girly who can't read, Frey uses a lot of sophisticated words. So Roslin is like sharing the story about how his parents met, and it's kind of like paralleling between him and Frey's relationship. I feel like he basically acknowledges that his father was toxic, and his mother like started to like resent him, but never left because she was grateful to him. She was grateful that he allowed her to be free and be who she was. And I'm just like, Frey, can you pick up on where this is going, girl, please? One toxic man for another is mind-boggling. But Roslin, he gives Gemini. I've never encountered a normal Gemini, and he's very much so giving Gemini. Frey is giving she's giving Virgo. I've met so many Virgos. You either love them or you hate them. But the Virgos that I've met, I've only like really appreciated. They've always been like cool, but they're very, very self-absorbed, and that is what she is. It's really fun. Wait, Lucien seems like he is a Scorpio. He definitely gives Scorpio vibes. Let's see who else. Tamlin, I feel like he's an Aries. I feel like he would be an Aries. I feel like Elaine is an Aquarius, and I feel like Nesta is a Cancer. I don't know. Oh my, like talking about like how women are treated poorly in the camps, and it's just like, hey, can you pass the bread? I resorted to sneak reading at work, and I'm in shambles. Like, I'm frustrated, but at the same time, I'm mellow. I cannot describe how I feel reading this chapter. Reading chapter 18 right now, secretly at work while everyone's away. And like, we're to the part where I'm to the part where she and Ryslan, they go down to the prison, and she's just like asking him questions and like, could you free the inmates? And then a page later, she started to ask him a question. It's like, have you ever? And then he answers yes. And now it's not the time to speak of it. To speak of what? What are they speaking of? What does he not do? What has he done? Thank you, little demon boy from the prison world, on page 197 of A Court of Mist and Fury, for the pronunciation of her name. It's Feyre. Feyre. 19 now, and all I can think about is, where the hell is Tamlin at? As Rye's newest pet, I would be granted tours of the city in the High Lord's personal residence. If we were lucky, none of them would realize that Rye's lapdog was actually a bloodhound. I'm sorry. Being someone's pet, wasn't that the reason she left Tamlin? Because he basically discarded her and treated her like a possession, his prized possession? Is that not what's happening again here? Oh, as an actress, I can't help but see myself in these roles. I want to play Princess of Edrita, Cressida, once I learn how to pronounce her name. All right, okay, so work. That's my thoughts. So I am at the point where they are at the summer court, and it's like Rosalind is high-key using Feyre just as much as people argue Tamlin did. So it's giving he's pimping her out. Like I don't know. This is the second book. I don't know. Say after just hearing more description about how Tamlin treated her, or really how she felt being treated like that by Tamlin. I'm not really a Tamlin girly. I'm definitely still not really a Rosalind girly. Like, I don't know. It's just like they're both bad. I don't know. I feel like we should have a third party insert here because Rosalind does have the appeal, but like his actions have been terrible. Basically, Feyre is like the Avatar. Feyre rejecting like the High Lord of the Summer Court is like, girl, if you want Rosalind, if this is your little Rosalind era, play hard to get. What is wrong with you? Urge that I have to call Tarquin Tyreek every single time I see his name, but like, forget Rosalind. I'm here for the High Lord of the Summer Court. Well, Feyre just invaded Tarquin's mind, and Rosalind is basically just like, oh, you get used to it. How is that not a red flag to her? Like, has he been inside of her mind making her feel this way towards him and that way towards Tamlin? Like, girl, wake up. What this reveals to me is that he could have potentially influenced her decisions and thought-making process. Like, are we just supposed to believe that he didn't because he said he didn't? Girl almost drowned and became fish food just for him to be like, but do you got the book? No weapon, no sign of the warrior. Nothing but the elegant, cruel High Lord the world believed him to be. Maybe he is cruel, just not to you. My things about their relationship is like, he obviously has the ability to insert thoughts into her mind. He has done it in a playful manner, but he could have also done it in a not so playful manner. But we don't know if he did or not. All we have to go by is his word that, oh, I would never do that to you. But you just did it. No way this just happened. There's no way this just happened. High Lord's whore again. I truly don't know what to say. So she didn't want Tamlin accepted the role of the High Lord's whore. Eating this book, like it's a messy type eating. It's like, I can't watch Wendy Williams anymore, so I'm basically reading furry fanfic. Like, it's messy. It has substance. I'm so intrigued. I have to get some pasta salad. I eat when I am in distress, and I am in distress while I'm reading this. So he made her his whore. Like, my thing is, why is this the image that he wants to betray? Why is this the image that he wants the world to see? Like, he wants to be feared. I get that. But there's so many other means to be feared. Like, I don't see Tamlin acting like that. I mean, granted, this is only the second book, but I don't, what? It's like genuinely, oh man, I got pasta salad in my book. I'm just like really trying to process this because I don't. Rosalind spent all this time talking about how terrible his cousin Moore was treated. He spent all this time talking about how terrible the women were treated and how he does not agree with how they're treated. But then he goes and make Feyre his whore to keep up a image. What? Rosalind girlies, y'all have daddy issues, and it shows. Wow. It's wild. It's any more than I did. Girl, be so for real. I think he's enjoying this a lot. I don't even want to read the rest of this page. Next. Tired of Rosalind and his goons. Where is Lucien at? Possibly have to be sorry for. Gee, I don't know. Humiliating you in front of everyone. I am ending at chapter 43 for tonight. Maybe my patience will be a lot better tomorrow. I don't know. Again, once I get a snack. Start reading, but then my neighbor's smoke detector started going off, so I don't know if I should flee or continue to read. So stay tuned. This might be Feyre and Rosalind heating it up, huh? Raslin made Feyre his whore. And when they get back to the city, she feels bad. Not a bad where she feels bad for herself. She feels bad for him. And I just don't understand how she spun that in that direction. Feyre says that I knew he and Tamlin were different, knew that Raslin's protective anger tonight had been justified, that I would have had a similar reaction. So what are we here for? Then? Tamlin saw your spine break in two, your neck snap, crackle, and pop. And I'm not saying that Tamlin was right. I'm not saying that at all. But it's like, how can you understand Raslin's anger but not understand Tamlin's fear? He literally saw you die in front of him and he was powerless. I'm on it. Okay, let's talk. So I've been reading a lot of comments and everyone keeps saying that Tamlin just sat there while Feyre was basically in the Hunger Games and like had to go through all of these trials and didn't help her. Neither did Raslin. He had limited power. Him and Raslin both had limited power. Yes, Raslin did somewhat like help, but she literally experienced so much emotional abuse and physical abuse down there by him. So I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm basically trying to get at is like, you can't like be like Team Raslin and then just ignore all the crap that he has done. And then try to be like Tamlin is terrible when Raslin is equally terrible. If you're going to say something about one, you have to say about the other too. But I mean, I don't know. I'm still reading, but this is just like, y'all are mind bending, trying to draw whatever conclusion you want, just like Feyre is, when it's like in black and white. Like, this is a morally gray character, just like Tamlin is. Through the book, and all I can think about is, where's Lucien? I really want to read about Lucien again. I'm looking at Amren. I guess that's how you say. I don't know how to pronounce anyone's name in this book, but she was just saying that, you know, she believes in Raslin and his dream. What is his dream? Because the way that he portrays himself is a savage. That he dreams of peace, of freedom, of a world united, a world thriving, of something better for us all. Did he or did he not steal a book from the Summer Court when their High Lord was trying to be friends? Did he or did he not pimp out Feyre to keep up an image of being a terrible person? So I'm really confused when they're like, he's dreaming of being something different. How? Is he only caring about his people? Which, I mean, understandably, but like, if you have this dream where you envision everyone equal, shouldn't you start acting properly? Okay, so hear me out. I think Feyre actually needs a therapist. Like, she morphs into the identity of whoever she's in a relationship with. She did this with Tamlin, now she's doing this with Raslin. And unfortunately for her, the men that she has been with are very toxic. So I'm hoping to see her grow into herself and to embrace herself and not really need a man, but more so want. Because right now, it feels like she is very heavily depending on Raslin to bring her out of this very dark time in her life, which is not healthy. Chapter where I guess she like said something to Raslin to kind of like piss him off, and like she keeps writing to him and she's like throwing a tantrum because he's not writing her back. Like, girl, please stop. Literally keep forgetting that Feyre was what, 18, 19? Like, I literally keep forgetting. No wonder her decisions are so reckless and her behavior is so obsessive. She's a freaking teenager. A night court when she needs to be in a spring court because she needs some spring water because she's very, very thirsty. The part where Raslin is telling Feyre how his family dies. And I don't know, I feel like Tamlin was kind of forced to be there considering that his father and his brothers were abusive towards him. you know, you got these two like young men who were forced into a position that they didn't want to be in because of the greedy individuals around them. You know, I definitely feel for Rosalind, but I also feel for Tamlin because I don't really feel like he intended to do that to Rosalind's family. I feel like he was definitely forced into it, but again, this is from Rosalind's point of view. We need both of them in a room to clarify what happened, because there are some spots in both of their stories, but I feel like Feyre will believe who is ever in front of her at the moment. What I'm trying to say is, don't speak on my man's name when he's not there to defend himself. So on this next session of Will I Ever Finish the Book or Not? At 46, let's go. Lucien is back. I'm happy again. Feyre, like, pointing her arrow at Lucien right now is really infuriating me. I'm sorry, but it's just a contradiction that she's just like, I am not the High Lord's pet any longer, but you are Rosalind's whore. Make it make sense. But it's not far-fetched that Lucien thinks that Rosalind is messing with her head, because I think Rosalind is messing with her head. She's really making me upset. Like, how dare you talk to Lucien like that? How dare you talk to him like that? How dare you let Rosalind talk to Lucien like that? Wait, she got wings? I will be a Rosalind hater forever. It's the audacity for him to say, I knew things were bad, but I thought Lucien at least would have stepped in. You mean how you stepped in when Feyre was getting thrashed around and chased by an Alaskan bullworm during her Hunger Games trial? Is that what you mean? Deep breaths. Feyre girl, why are you so thirsty? Honestly, I'm gonna get the next book. I'm gonna finish the series, but like, I think I might stop at 48 because I'm getting very pissed off. I'm on 48 right now, and I think I'm going to finish here and post my reactions on YouTube because I'm getting very pissed off. So for my next video, I will be doing the remainder of the second book as well as the third book. I'm just very, very frustrated, and I don't know when I will resume reading because I cannot deal with Feyre. I can't deal with her and Rosalind right now. So I am going to close out by sharing some of my thoughts. One, I can't wait to get to Nesta and Cassian's little rendezvous. I can't wait until Elaine and Lucien link up. And I hope to read more about the Summer Court. Now, other things that I'm thinking while I'm reading this. I feel like Feyre, her personality is based on who she is dating at the moment. And like every time I get frustrated with her, I have to remind myself she is still fairly impressionable because she is 19, I think, 19, 20. Like my thing is like what Tamlin did was terrible. It was terrible. But you cannot tell me Rosalind is the only good alternative to Tamlin. I feel like Rosalind is very manipulative. Tamlin was very controlling. The way that I've seen so many girlies on social media make all of these like thirst traps for Rosalind, like I thought he was going to be like, you know, start out as a villain and like morph into a human being, but it's like all of the bad actions that he do just gets justified. Like, oh, I did this to your drink and publicly humiliated you under the mountain because I didn't want you to be punished. And oh, I need you to be my whore so that I can keep up a public image and be feared so I can protect my city. No, I don't hate Rosalind, but I wish that he would just be a villain. Like, I don't need justification for his immoral acts. Just like, I really wanted to finish the second book for you guys, but it's going to take me longer this time because I am just like, I'm frustrated. And when I get frustrated, I stop doing the thing that frustrates me. I feel like there was so much room for Rosalind because Feyre did not meet up with Rosalind right after, you know, her time under the mountain. She went directly back with Tamlin. And I feel like Rosalind had more of like time. I mean, he's still like traumatized by what's happened. You know, he literally told Feyre that he would kill someone if they harmed her after Mor's father called her a whore. So obviously he still has a lot of trauma that he's dealing with, but I feel like there's more space for Rosalind to have trauma and deal with it, whereas Tamlin, he has no space for him to deal with his trauma. And Feyre is so much more understanding of Rosalind's trauma rather than Tamlin. And she herself has not processed her trauma. I don't know, I feel like if Tamlin and Feyre like communicated with each other, things would not have gotten this bad. Yeah, those are my thoughts from half of the first book to half of the second book. I wanted to finish the second book, but I'm getting very pissed off and I don't know how long it's going to take me to read. So I will be back in the next video finishing the remainder of the second book, and then hopefully, if the third book doesn't piss me off, the whole third book commentary as well. But like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you all think. Are you team Rosalind? Are you team Tamlin? Are you team they all need therapy? Let me know in the night court when she needs to be in a spring court because she needs some spring water because she's very, very thirsty. Through the book, and all I can think about is, where's Lucien? I really want to read about Lucien again. Feyre says that I knew he and Tamlin were different, knew that Rosalind's protective anger tonight had been justified, that I would have had a similar reaction. So what are we here for? So what are we here for then? High Lord's whore again. I don't even want to read the rest of this page.